Hey everyone, this is Dana and we are out exploring Old Valdez today. But while we were exploring, we couldn't help but check out all this marine activity. We've got, I think it's a factory ship sitting out here with a couple of tugboats parked at it. You see off in the distance is Valdez and another factory ship or fish processing ship sitting out here. So while we're out exploring, we spotted something you don't see every day, and that's a tugboat parked up on the land. So we're gonna get you some close-up shots of the Patrick W. This is a small Valdez tugboat, registered online as 8 meters by 7 meters. There's the 360 Alaskan crew over by the white Dodge. We're working hard to bring you some more future videos. On the right side, that concrete block is actually the remains of the old mortuary from Valdez, Alaska. And directly below us is the old forklift that were all destroyed during the 1964 earthquake. But back to the Patrick W.
Turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease. Bitten lips, bruised knees.
So this is actually a very small tugboat. It's anchored right here during low tide. The tides in Valdez can be pretty extreme. So here at low tide, it's just sitting here on the mud flats. Here in just a couple hours, the high tide will be back in. The water will be clear back around the boat. It'll be floating again. You can see the high tide line comes up almost clear to the stop sign. Sometimes it's a little bit lower than that. Depends on how high the tide is for that day. You can see they're working on a project here. I believe they're installing some piers, and they've definitely added some gravel and built up the land a little bit over the years. So there are several barges docked right here, and I believe the Patrick W was probably hooked up to one of them to maneuver it around. We didn't get to see it move, unfortunately. It was parked here, as it were, the whole time in the mud flats. If you look behind the ship, you can even see where the props were running, and it was pushing some of the mud back when it probably drove in at a high tide. This is a very small tugboat. I had someone make the comment on the short, which the short is very popular. Thank you everyone that watched that. How does it even stay afloat? So I'm definitely not a shipping expert, but you can see the front of the tug is equipped to interface with a barge. So I believe the main purpose of this is to be the engine or power supply for different barges. Although obviously it's quite capable of maneuvering on its own. It drove itself, or boated itself, I should say, right up here on land. You can see behind with the props there I was talking about earlier, where it's kind of washed out some of the mud. And the anchor line coming behind it, it is actually sitting on anchor right here.
I feel like an addict 'cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine.
I wasn't able to find out a lot more online about this particular vessel. You can see from looking at it, it does have 3 props underneath. So as we follow the anchor line back here, there's the crane sitting over there, and the barges are parked out here. But let's take a look at that anchor. There it is right behind us here, just stuck right in the mud. All right, this gorgeous fixer-upper boat is located off of Mineral Creek Loop Road. So I'm not sure what the story with this abandoned boat is. I made several attempts to look it up. I can't find a lot of information about it. I'd love to tell you it was after the 1964 Great Alaskan Earthquake and the several tsunamis that affected Valdez area, but I'm not for sure it comes from that far back, but it's obviously been abandoned here on the beach. High tide does wash up this far at times. But it's definitely seen some better days. So if you know the story of this old abandoned boat here in Valdez, Alaska, I'd love to hear it. Please leave it in the comments, and maybe we can get a better video for this boat. This is Dana. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.